The Tonkawa Buccaneers are back in the state championship game, and they'll take on defending champion Rejoice Christian on Thursday night in Edmond at UCO. And their head coach, Trenton Harmon, joins us now. And coach, Tonkawa is back in the state championship game. I mentioned before we started how, I was able to take in the first round playoff game about a month ago. And man, the home field advantage that you guys have, the community pride that's centered around this football program. It impressed me that night, and I got to think that it's been like that all season, and I'm sure they're going to come out in droves on Thursday night in Edmond.
Yeah, this place loves football. I keep telling people that. Seems like every round in the playoffs too, it gets bigger, which is, I guess, the way it's supposed to be. But yeah, whether the semifinals the other day, we had a send off. We've got bucket trucks over the highway. We've got parents running with flags over the bridges on I-35. Great crowd, boatmobiles at Catoosa. Yeah, it's the support here is unmatched.
Now it's your first season as the head coach, and look, the guy that you're replacing, he won a lot of football games, and I'm sure like stepping into a role like that, whether it's you with Tonkawa or anywhere else, where you're replacing a guy who had a lot of success, it could be something that's nerve wracking or whatever it may be. Just talk to me about your first season. Being the guy in charge of this program, like we mentioned, for a community and a town that is so hungry to have another state championship added there to the side of the building in Tonkawa.
Yeah, I mean, you're hitting the nail on the head. The history here is amazing. Seven gold balls in our trophy case over in the gym right now. The coaches in the past have done a great job here with the winning tradition, carrying it on. There's pressure. There's been pressure on me when I stepped into that role. There's been pressure on these boys, but that's what makes Tonkawa such a good place is that there is pressure. There's so many places anymore. It just seems there's not really a whole lot of pressure. And Tonkawa, that pressure is definitely there, but it's definitely a privilege, like people like to say. So I'm glad it's here, and hopefully it'll always stay here. But we like the pressure here.
Let's talk about the pressure of the district because this was. I mean, look, it's one of those districts that it feels like year after year, it's one of the more competitive ones in the state. Obviously, District foe Pawhuska, they made it to the semifinals as well, and nearly beat Rejoice Christian, and we would have had a district rematch for the state title. But talk about not only the district slate, but man, when I look at the season that you guys have had and the teams that you've gone up against and the whether it's in non-district play or in district play or so far in the playoffs, you guys come into this state title game. I mentioned it with Coach Marley when previewing Rejoice Christian. You know, I categorize Rejoice Christian as resilient this season for battling through injuries and adversity and things like that. But I would categorize Tonkawa as battle tested, considering some of the teams that you've played this year.
Yeah, it's been a gauntlet. You had Fairview, second game, Stroud, Pawhuska, Pawnee, and then the playoff run took off. So yeah, we feel like we've definitely went through a gauntlet. Kids have handled it great. We've had awful injuries this year. It was week 8, I believe, week 8 or 9 before we had the same offensive line 2 weeks in a row.
Wow.
We had some seniors go down. Brett Shepard, one of our star left tackles, got hurt against Fairview. He's been out the entire season with an ACL. We got Connor DeWitt back right tackle, second round, and he had been out since Stroud. So right now is actually the healthiest we've been since week 3 against Stroud. We got one guy, Tim Mitchell, giant lineman for us, got hurt the first play of the first game, been out the entire season. So we've actually had some injuries, but the great thing, we've got a lot of kids, and again, it's testimony to Tonkawa for being such a football place. When you got 55 kids at a Class A school, you've got some depth. So we've been able to fill guys in, and it's been the next man up all year mentality. And now we're in state championship, but we're healthiest we've been, so it's a really good time to do that.
Looking at your team in some of the production that you guys have had on both sides of the ball, I'm really impressed with the fact that like it's spread out. Like it feels like on any given week, a different guy can beat the defense. In that first round game that I saw in person for at least the first 2 quarters, it was your tall wide receiver. Number 5 had a special performance that night. Obviously, he looks the part, and he can be a difference maker offensively. And then some of the other guys that have stood out. Just talk to me about how, this offense specifically feels like it's built where on any given week, any number of guys can beat the opponent.
Yeah, I think that's just the nature of the game now these days. I mean, we had a new offensive scheme this spring, new defensive scheme. So the kids are learning two new schemes, and we told them the first day of spring ball, listen, there's going to be days where you catch five balls in a game, and you might have three touchdowns. There might be a night where you don't catch a pass. Uh, Perfect example the other night against Picola in the semifinals. Loudon Alexander, one of our best guys. I don't know if he caught a single pass or even had a handoff, but then was great on defense for us all night. So that's just nature of the beast. It's spread. We're a spread wing T team, so certain things are going to be working on one night. When they do, we're going to keep running it over and over. And when it doesn't, we're going to stay away from it. So kind of just depends on the night. But our kids have done a great job. I haven't heard, and it's amazing because receivers seem to be the worst ones position wise. I haven't heard a single kid complain all year long about, I'm not getting the ball in the game enough, or I didn't have this many catches. These dudes play together, and they like the team part of it. They celebrate with each other when what a match success more than any team I've ever had.
Flipping to the defensive side of the ball, when I look at this matchup, trying to contain Rejoice's offense is going to be obviously a huge key. There's no doubt they have some pretty special playmakers on that side of the ball. Defensively, you guys have been stout. It seems like all season. Picola, they have a very strong offense as well, and you guys did well. Your linebacker, Case Toutfest, he's put up a bunch of numbers. It seems like he's always around the ball defensively. Just a junior, really impressed with him. And then some of the other guys, really honestly, the front seven. When I saw you guys in person back in the first round, really impressed with the front seven as an entire group. But when you're going into this championship game against a Rejoice offense that is very talented, finding a way to get off the field early on, force three and outs. If you can get turnovers, and win the turnover battle, it's going to be key. But you guys have been playing lights out all season on that side.
Yeah, man, spring ball, our defense didn't look too great at times. And we have a basically from top to bottom new coaching staff, and we were new to the kids, they were new to us, and we were heavily concerned. And then it was like we just woke up one day and had a pretty good defense, it seemed like. But I think being multiple is one thing that's really helped us. Our kids do a great job of understanding different schemes and then getting into those schemes quickly to where we can play games with people on the defensive side. You said it, our front seven was our bread and butter all year long. Every Monday it seems like I'm a broken record, but I tell the kids we got to stop the run, and then once we stop the run, we got to stop the pass. Obviously, this week you're right with the weapons they have. It's going to be got to definitely make sure we stop the pass with the guys they got out there. But now our front seven are physical. That's a favorite thing about the defense is just how they fly the ball, and when they get there, they're trying to hit you. We got 11 guys that every one of them will try to strike you. So the physicality part really is a benefit for us, and it seems to wear on people throughout the game.
I got to think that you guys, especially that defense, it has to be playing with a lot of confidence right now. When you consider the offenses that you've already faced, you mentioned Pahuska, Picola, Stroud, Fairview. Like this defense has been stressed, like facing offenses that can light up a scoreboard. So I got to think as you go into a matchup with Rejoice that, can light up the scoreboard, this team isn't going to back down. Like they're not going to see anything on Thursday that they haven't seen multiple times throughout the season. They've been stressed and they've come out on the other side and should be ready to go.
They are. Our kids respect Rejoice. They know how good they are, but Tonkawa kids are pretty confident. They grew up playing this game since they were in first grade. They've been doubted all year, and they kind of carry that chip on their shoulder. It seems like, but no, our kids have confidence, and that's not an issue for us.
When you look at Rejoice, and obviously the offense gets a lot of praise. They have some special players on that side of the ball, but they're also coming into this as defending champs. And you talk about the confidence that Tonkawa is playing with right now. They're obviously going to come in with plenty of confidence as well, having been there last year, raising the gold ball in a win over Hooker in the title game. Just talk about what stands out to you when you look at Rejoice on film. What are some of the things that they do well that you guys need to limit on Thursday?
Obviously, containing the speed. Quarterback does a great job getting out of the pocket, and then he's just going to launch it up to his studs out on the edge. So those are the obvious things. I think one thing that they don't get near enough credit for is running the football. I think they do a great job running the ball. Running back, I apologize, I don't know his name, but number 40,
Noah
good,
Goodwin.
good one, yes. Uh, Big, strong kid. I mean, one of the better backs, if not the best back we've seen all year. O line does a good job. They got good schemes. So definitely, again, we got to stop the run. We can't just brush that off at all. They're a really good run football team. And then on defense, they don't get any love for defense. It seems like they've got one of the best defenses in the class too. Uh, Quarterback number one. I mean, he's basically a middle linebacker in my opinion. Is what as fast as he's coming down from free safety. So they're really talented on both sides. The thing on defense that makes them really good, I think, is just how fast they are. They got 4 or 5 guys that can absolutely fly. So they close space really quickly, and then their special teams is a nightmare too. They got a kicker, one of the best kickers I've seen since I've started coaching. He's going to put it in the end zone about 80% of the time, and then he's a weapon for them on field goals too. So their special teams is good, but that's the way it's supposed to be. It's a state championship. They're supposed to be good on every side.
You guys are good on every side as well, and this sets up for a really really special state championship game. Tonkawa, they're hungry for another state championship. You mentioned the 7 gold balls that are in the gymnasium right now, searching for that first one since I believe 2018. It's a program, a community very hungry for another title. When you look at this matchup. It's our final question. It's an easy question for me to ask. Cliche answer, coach speak answer. Maybe it's not an easy answer, but when you look at this matchup, what are going to be the biggest keys to getting a win and adding an 8th state championship to that gym?
Just being us, doing what we've done all year long. We play fast. We play really, really physical. We do those two things. I feel like we always have a chance no matter who we're playing. Keeping our heads, keeping composure, and then the main thing we've talked about all year long is we're a team and we play together. And our guys have bought into that and they believe in each other. So that's what we'll try to do.
Coach, thanks so much for your time. Congrats on making it back. Look, heck of a year one for you taking over this program, taking the Buccaneers back to the state championship game. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a good game on Thursday night. Congrats on making it there. And we'll catch up before kickoff in Edmond, all right?
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
That's Tonkawa head coach Trenton Harmon. And for a look at the Rejoice Christian Eagles and our one-on-one conversation with their head coach Brent Marley, you can check that out right now on our Prep Red Zone Oklahoma YouTube channel. Also, be sure to check out all of our preview content on prepredzone.com/Oklahoma as we get you completely ready for Thursday night's state championship game between the Tonkawa Buccaneers and Rejoice Christian. For Coach Harmon, I'm Michael Knight. One final time, this has been our look at the Tonkawa Buccaneers heading into Thursday's title game.